Yo, what's cracking, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of Prison Break Raw. I'm your host, the one and only Big JD. Go ahead, get this channel, subscribe, share, leave some messages or comments, hit that thumbs up for the like, notification bell to be informed on all episodes when they drop. And if you enjoy this video, please share it. Sharing is caring. Share it to your family, your friends, your coworkers, anywhere and everywhere in your social media platforms. Let's get this raw and uncut material out there to the millions that don't know we're here. As if this COVID-19 pandemic isn't weird enough, it just gets weirder and weirder by the day. With the current news that's coming out surrounding it, the fake news, the bogus reports, the propaganda, the fear-mongering, people even being arrested. We'll talk more about that and how it could possibly link in. And also, hundreds, if not thousands of people, a part of a new hashtag, Film Your Hospitals movement, or hashtag Empty Hospitals, and are at these epicenters filming empty tents, empty hospitals. All of this shit, and the lack of numbers. Where are the bodies? Where are all the people that are testing positive for this thing? Let's go back in time 100 years ago. The Spanish flu, of what it was commonly referred to back in that day. Millions of people were affected by this. People were dropping like flies. They didn't need to do some of the things that they're doing now in order to prove the point. They had the bodies to back it up. Rows and rows of bodies. Tents full of people dying left and right. Why is that not present in this situation? Outside of the chaos in Italy, maybe a couple of other places, you just don't see it. And then I have a buddy of mine who got really sick. He decided to self-quarantine. For a couple of days, he ran around town looking for a place to test for the COVID-19. Nobody had the test. He finally found a place, and they asked him, well, how do you feel now? He says, well, I guess I feel okay. You know, I'm a little woozy. I still got a little bit of a fever, whatnot. And they said, oh, yeah, you're good. You're fine. Just go ahead, go back to work, go back to your normal life. I mean, that's crazy. That just blows my mind. Because if he's still feeling sick, that means he still has traces of this virus in his body, if he does have it. And he goes to the place where supposedly some people have died from it. So this hospital is basically testing dead people, but won't test the living that could possibly expose other people to this virus. There's that to think about. That's strange in itself to me. And then you have the latest news, the blunder. Doing a news report on the epicenter of all this in this country, New York City. Footage of a crowded, out of control, chaotic pandemonium hospital. It was pandemonium in there. People were all packed in there like sardines. Medical professionals scrambling around, not knowing what to do. Nurses are on there going, oh God, Donald Trump won't give us the things that we need. We need masks, we need respirators. Look at all these people. And then the camera zooming around to fill this crowded emergency room in New York, mind you. A reporter in, I believe, London saw this and said, wait a minute, something ain't right here. Went back and looked at the video footage of the filming they did in an Italian emergency room, and it was the same footage that ABC was pushing off as being a New York hospital. And then to throw another log in the fire about this whole thing, You got other people pushing gurneys down the hall with what looks to be a body wrapped up in a sheet, somebody that just died from COVID-19. Rest their souls. And then a respiratory tech scrambling around an emergency room trying to treat a practice dummy with his symptoms of COVID-19. A practice dummy. Other images of other tables of bodies laying out on them were all practice dummies. And all this was in the same newsreel. Talking about the lines wrapped around the building. People looking to get tested. People testing positive. It's chaos. And then all the people from New York getting out their cell phones and driving past this hospital on the same day and the day after. Filming their hospital like, I don't see anybody out here. Where's all these people at? I mean, shit. You got more people in attendance at a Kevin Federline concert than you do got people testing for this COVID-19 in the time of this pandemic when there should be people packed into these tents like sardines, but they're not there. But why the practice dummies? Why the bogus newsreel? Then in January, you probably didn't hear about this because they did everything in their power to keep it hush-hush in a lot of ways. The media. The celebrity elite power structures, media lapdogs did everything in their power to keep this one quiet. Dr. Charles Lieber, professor of biology and chemical engineering at Boston University, lied to the Department of Justice regarding his involvement with the Chinese government, and 2 professors at, of all places, coincidentally, Wuhan University in China. The starting point of this COVID-19 outbreak. The media apologists, Russian, nothing to see here, nothing to see, Russian to the aid. Oh, fact checkers, everybody get your fact checkers out. They're saying this guy is responsible for selling COVID-19 to the Chinese, but nobody said anything about that. A couple of people falsely reported on it, but you always have that. But the rush to try to explain it away is fishy to me. They didn't need to do all this during the Spanish flu. They had the bodies to prove it. Here we don't have bodies. Yes, you have all these celebrities and politicians standing up saying, oh, I tested positive for COVID-19. Here I am, even though I got no symptoms at all. I haven't talked to a single person that has been diagnosed with this virus. Not a single person. And I've got over 13,000 subs here on YouTube. I got almost 4,000 followers on Facebook, a couple thousand followers on Instagram, and a couple on Twitter. And I have yet to talk to anybody that has come forth and told me that they've tested positive for COVID-19. Not a single person. And I've even watched some testimonies from people on some of these Twitter feeds talking about a lady in particular. They said, my mother died from COVID-19. No, she didn't. She was in the hospital for Alzheimer's-related conditions, illnesses, and she died later from those. Another guy, somewhere in Florida, said that they basically pronounced him dead. He died from COVID-19. He comes out and says, hey, everybody, I'm still alive. No, I didn't die from COVID-19. No, I didn't test positive for it. But where are all the bodies? Where are all the people? If it's a pandemic, there should be people dropping all the time. Now, I don't know why this is going on. I put out these videos in order to ask the questions. I'm not on here to spin conspiracy theories. I'm on here to report these facts, and the facts are the facts. There were practice dummies on the gurneys. They were using footage from an Italian emergency room. People have been driving by these hospitals, filming them all the time, and they're empty. This professor at Boston University lied about his connection to the Chinese government. Why would that even be an issue right now in this day and age? And why was it coincidentally tied to Wuhan University in China? I want somebody to come forth, get at me on Instagram, Facebook, anywhere. Blot out all your personal information, but show me a sheet of paper where you have tested positive for COVID-19. I want to see this. I want to know. I want to be put at ease because too many weird things are happening that are causing me to feel uneasy. And we should all feel uneasy because we are possibly on the brink of a total and complete economic breakdown in the entire world. Something that would make the Great Depression look like bouncing a $20 check. Something that would make the Great Depression look like a low middle class family filing for bankruptcy. We're talking Mad Max type shit. Wars possibly, maybe even nuclear. Chaos in the streets. All this stuff could happen if there is a complete and total economic breakdown. If you don't understand what that looks like, all you need to go do is go to an impoverished neighborhood anywhere in this country. You'll see the gangs, the drugs, the crime. Amplify that to everywhere and everybody, then everybody will understand why people in the inner cities turn to crime. People will start to understand why people turn to drugs and gangs and all these things, because now it will be at everybody's doorstep if there's a complete economic breakdown. You'll see just how fast war was right when they said the world is a ghetto, because that's where it'll get to. And that shit is the scariest of all. That's more terrifying than any flu that this could possibly be. Call it COVID-19. Call it covert 19. I want some answers to some of these questions. I want these apologists to stop sweeping these things under the rug, trying to explain them away. Oh, it was just a simple mistake. Oh, it was just a practice dummy. We were just using it for filler. Oh, sorry about the mix-up in the footage. We really meant to film a New York emergency room, but we couldn't do it because there were people in there. Bullshit. The Boston Marathon bombing, the cameras were all over the carnage. 9/11, cameras all over the carnage. Charlottesville, all over the carnage. Las Vegas, that shooting at the country concert, all over the carnage. Miss me with the bullshit. You have an epicenter. You have thousands of people dropping dead, supposedly, in these hospitals. Film that shit. Don't give us some from somewhere halfway across the world and try to pawn this off as, here it is, here's what it looks like. This is all Trump's fault. They did the same thing with that Turkish and Kurdish conflict, if you remember that. If you know anything about that, but they swept that under the rug too. But I know about it because I remember it. The news media are reporting how Trump's decision to pull away from that Kurdish and Turkish situation caused all these Kurds to get slaughtered. Look at it. Look at it. It's like Armageddon, showing a video of this area just getting decimated and blown to pieces. Come to find out, that video was from a Kentucky gun show. Yeah, you can't make this shit up, man. It's for reals. This is what they do. It's almost as if, I'm not going to go out on a limb and say this has anything to do with 5G because I don't know. I don't know much about this whole 5G thing, really, to be honest with you. Or if it has something to do with them building a Stargate to another universe or God knows what, man. What I do know is what I see in how people act in the media, these celebrities, all day, all night. Trump, 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 Trump. And I say it, I'm not a Trump supporter, but what I'm getting sick and tired of is constantly hearing about it. Watching people go through such a poor emotional state, a lack of insight, intelligence, objectivity, all these things, complete derangement, foaming at the mouth type of shit. Over one man who you could just vote him out. Pick a viable candidate to run against him. Pick somebody that knows how to run that mouthpiece and run that person against him. Stop with all this other bullshit. Throwing everything at the wall to see what sticks. With all of this shit, these impeachments, this Ukraine thing, this, that, and the third. Now this. Why do I say I link it to this? Because it just makes sense to me. Because I see it nonstop on the media. I don't even watch the news anymore. Because it's just nonstop, 24 hours, round the clock Trump. These people really need to get with Alcoholics Anonymous and create a whole new group, Trump Anonymous. I tell people on Facebook, man, put the Trump crack pipe down and live your life. Get out there and take a look at the world. Ask yourself, why did all these people vote him in the first place? Because they're sick and tired of all the bullshit. People are sick and tired of having to walk around on eggshells, political correctness out of control, and all these other things. Being marginalized, being disenfranchised. People vote in order to send a message. The message is not being received because these people are all over the place with this shit. And they're not even looking in the right direction. Now they just want to burn it all down. And it's like your house just got infested with termites. You just burn the whole house down instead of treating the termite problem. That's why I use this as an example. That's why I use him as an example, because it's just basically the epitome of insanity to watch these people obsess over this one guy. He doesn't even write the laws or make the laws. He just signs them, whatever they throw at him. That's all the president does. Who gives a fuck who's in there? It's just a fucking mouthpiece anyways, for the most part. It's the Congress and the Senate and the Supreme Court that run shit. Yeah, man, this is crazy. But somebody needs to ask some questions. If there's anybody should be hitting up the Department of Justice and showing film your hospital videos. Asking about this newsreel. Asking about these practice dummies. Get out there and say, what the fuck is going on, people? You got this government lockdown. Now they want to extend it even further? Show us the bodies, man. Explain to us why all these tents are empty. Explain to us why they're using footage from an Italian emergency room. Explain to us why they got test dummies on gurneys and all these things. Why are they not giving us the full story? Why is this thing so crazy? These questions got to be asked. They got to be asked, man. Prison Break Raw, uncut, uncensored, no holds barred, non-sugarcoat, not politically correct, all up in your face, slapping you with that dick of reality, and I'm out.